जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारि। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन यमुनतीरावनचारि। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारि। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा वल्लभ राधा वल्लभ राधा। जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधा। जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। श्री श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्री निताय गौरंग भगवान की जय। ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिव सादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे दर्पणमर्जनं भव महद्वग्निर्वापनं कैर्यवच्युतिर्कावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वत्मस्थापनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नामकारि बहुडानि च सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रातिपा नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृप भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशम् इह जानन्यनुराग तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरुरपि सहिष्णुना माननीय मानदेन कीर्तनय सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे बहुतद्भक्तिरपैतकी त्वयि अविनन्दतनुज किङ्करपतितमां विषमे बुधाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजसुधूलिसदर्शनं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदरुधाय गिरा किर्निचितं उपगदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवर्षायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरहेण मे आश्लिष्यवापादरतं पिनस्तु मामादर्शनं मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा विदगतो लम्पतो मात् प्रणनाथास्तु एव न पर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे तुम करोति
Sai
कालम पंगु कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम् ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सभ्याभ्यन्तरं चे श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु श्रीवेणु Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you, all devotees, for joining. Hare Krishna. Santosh Aitya Prabhu and whole family, Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna. Ravin Prabhu, Suma Mataji, thank you for joining. Happy Ekadashi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Utpanna Ekadashi ki jai. Hare Krishna, Deepa Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Lavi Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Very happy to hear everybody's voice. Tulsi Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Raja Ramesh Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. Shivapal Prabhu and Purnam Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Thank you for joining.
Dandot Pranam Prabhuji.
Let's all wish a very, very happy Krishna conscious appearance birthday to Mahalingamayan Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Loesh Prabhu.
You all are the hope for me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining the class on a birthday.
Thank you.
Tulsi Mataji and Rajamesh Prabhu. Yes, Padmalata Mataji, thank you for joining. Teja Mataji, Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji.
Thank you for joining. Mahesh Prabhu and Prashanti Mataji and whole family, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Subbara Prabhu, Nirupama Mataji and whole family, Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna. Akinchan Pri Prabhu, Hari Bol, Shobha Kumari Mataji and whole family ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Ram Reddy Prabhu and Mataji ki jai.
Hare Krishna,
Shilpa
Dandot Pranam.
Mataji, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. Shilpa Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Thank you for organizing so nicely.
Dandot Pranam Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Aarti Mataji, Aarti Rajendran Mataji, Dandot Pranam Mataji. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Sri Giriraj Prabhu, Lavanya Mataji and whole wonderful family, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. Please bless. Vanilla Mataji, Dandot Pranam Prabhu. Vanilla Mataji, Hare Krishna, wherever you are, most spontaneous and enthusiastic, Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna. Anupriya Mataji, Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Thank you for joining. And this is Chamya's iPhone. I don't know how it is, but Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's Kamya.
Oh, Kamya. Sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining today's morning Bhagavatam class. And second, yes, am I the host also? Co-host. Okay, good. I can mute if I want to. Okay, great. Yeah. So thank you for joining. And today is Ekadashi, a wonderful day, a checkpoint in our life where we have to check how much we are making progress, how much we are lagging behind. So we will read Bhagavatam today, and this chapter is, in Hindi mein ek word bolte hain, khatarnak chapter. So it's one of those khatarnak chapters in Bhagavatam, which if a materialistic person reads, he'll become very upset. And I also became very upset when I was reading this chapter. I read the whole chapter through, even though I was given the opportunity to serve from verse number 15, but I read the whole chapter. I think the previous verses were done by Loesh Prabhu, right?
Yes, Prabhuji, Loesh Prabhu and Giriraj Prabhu.
Oh, both of them. This is the third part then.
Giriraj Prabhu, yeah.
Prabhu, no, I started from 1 to.
You started
50.
the chapter, Prabhuji, yeah.
We started the chapter, and Loesh Prabhu continued the chapter, and finally for purification you left me in the end, because the purificatory verses come at the end. So thank you, Loesh Prabhu, for choosing the verses for me.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. It was going above my head. I just passed on to you.
ये प्रभु ये chapter जो है, it's one of the, like, I can tell you that it's, if test cricket is powerful, one day cricket is even more intense, 2020 is khatarnak, this is like ultimate, इससे ज्यादा बैटिंग कोई चैप्टर में नहीं है. मैं I was reading it. Wow, please forgive me for my stupid example, but Yeah. So I'd like to tell something before I get into this chapter, that how much is this conversation today, which is 9th of September, 9th of December, sorry, 9th of December, Saturday, 2023, all we living entities in this call, how much it is going to affect us, right? I'll tell what is told at the end of the chapter. The end of the chapter, it is told that anybody who recites this chapter with some attention and faith will not take birth again. I mean, you might feel that, Prabhu, every Bhagavatam chapter is like that only. No, but I really feel after reading this, there is no reason to take birth again. It clearly outlines, why we are taking birth again, right? And often, I was hearing to this sannyasi, was explaining that, it's so difficult to hear, actually, so difficult to hear properly. Because we have a lot of impressions and we don't really have faith. And even when we have faith and we heard it, we don't understand. And when we understand, we are not ready to implement. Why we are not ready to implement? Because we feel that we are already aware of everything, something like that problem. So now we are going to read this chapter. I'm going to read the first verse and the purport. Most of the purports I may not really go in detail, because if I go in detail, I think this chapter will go on for years, if I'm really right. Prabhupada has shown 100% mercy in this chapter. But I recommend everyone to read the chapter attentively later, full purports. It's really beneficial for all of us. So let us do the verse number 50 onwards is what I've been asked to continue. So Canto 4, chapter 29, text 50. Harirdeha bhritam Harirdeha Pratamatma Swayam Prakritirishvara Tatpadamulam Sharanam Yathakshemo Nrinam Iha Harirdeha Bhritam Atma Swayam Prakritirishvara Tatpadamulam Sharanam Yathakshemo Nrinam Iha Harirdeha Bhritam Atma Swayam Prakritirishvara Tatpadamulam Sharanam Yathakshemo Nrinam Iha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the super soul and guide of all living entities who have accepted material bodies within this world. He is the supreme controller of all material activities in the material nature. He is also our best friend, and everyone should take shelter at his lotus feet. In doing so, one's life will be auspicious. If you have not heard it attentively, I will read it again. Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the super soul and guide of all living beings who have accepted material bodies within this world. He is the supreme controller of all material activities in material nature. He is also our best friend, and everyone should take shelter at his lotus feet. In doing so, one's life will be auspicious. Hari Bol. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So I'll read the purport. It's a little long purport, but we'll read this one purport completely, and then we can discuss verse by verse. Please pay attention. In Bhagavad Gita 18.61, it is said, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddesha Arjuna Tishtati. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Oh Arjuna, the living entity is within the body and the super soul. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is also there. He is called Antaryami and Chaitya Guru. As Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, he is controlling everything. Sarvasya chaham jidi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Everything is being directed by the super soul within the body. Therefore, the better part of Valor is to take his direction and be happy. To take his instructions, be happy. To take his directions, one needs to be a devotee. And this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10:10. Tesham satayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Although the super soul is in everyone's heart, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddesha Arjuna Tishtati, he talks only to the pure devotees who constantly engage in his service. In Bhagavad Gita, in Chaitanya Bhagavatam, Antya Leela 3.45, it is said, Tahara se bali vidya mantra adhyayana Krishna pada padmeya kareya sthira mana. One who has fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, it is to be understood as having the best education and as having educated and as having studied all the Vedas. There are also other appropriate quotes in Chaitanya Bhagavata. Saise vidyara phala janiha nischaya Krishna pada padye yadi chitta vrittiraya. The perfect result of an education is the fixing of one's mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Digvijay kariba vidyara karya nahe Ishware bhajile sei vidya satya kahe. Conquering the world by means of material education is not desirable. If one engages himself in devotional service, his education is perfected. Pade kena loka Krishna bhakti jani bhare se yadi nahila tabhe vidyaya ki kare. The purpose of education is to understand Krishna and his devotional service. If one does not do so, then education is false. Adi Lila 12.49. Being Tahare se bali dharma karma sadachara Ishware se priti janme sammata sabara. Being cultured, educated, very active and religious means developing natural love for Krishna. Antilila 3.44. Wow. Being cultured, educated, very active and religious means developing natural love for Krishna. Everyone has dormant love for Krishna, and by culture and education, that has to be awakened. That is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. Once Lord Chaitanya asked Sri Ramananda Raya what the best part of education was, and Sri Ramananda Raya replied that the best part of the education is advancement in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, Prabhujis and Matajis, we will read through the chapter. Maybe I'll just read the translations, not the verses, because we'll try to finish the whole chapter, if possible, if Krishna permits. See, we all got injuries in life, right? I mean, like when we were children, we used to play and we used to fall down, and we used to get up again. We used to get some little injury somewhere, You see my hand, and so yeah, here there is a big mark. Right here is a big mark on my elbow. This is when I was in my second grade or third grade. I fell on the road. I fell on the road, and the whole skin was gone, and it took a lot of time to fill that part. Body automatically fills it. But there is a mark that got created. Right? There is a mark that got created. Everybody has a mark. How many here have a mark, such kind of marks on your body? भर भर के है कि नहीं? आजकल के बच्चों में नहीं रहते. But in our days, we all have those marks here and there. Right? And these marks don't go. They don't go. They remain. Even though, unless you go to a cosmetic surgeon and try to get it corrected, these marks don't go. And even after cosmetic surgery, also you can still feel there is something wrong in that part of the body. So, Prabhus, for the last many lives that we have lived this planet, there are so many marks we have made on our mind, right? So many marks, unlimited number of marks. These marks are seen on your body. You can point out, oh, I have got these many marks. But how many marks are there in your mind? You don't know. So many vasanas, so many desires, like, lust, ego. So many are there. And what happens is that when we are trying to elevate ourselves spiritually, uh, these vasanas, these impressions, strong impressions on our mind doesn't allow us to go forward. Even when we are hearing this class, right? One of the vasana is telling, hey, this will be another Bhagavatam class. What is the big deal? Or, let me hear and let me just leave it. I don't have to implement it. Hey, big deal. Every chapter says like this only. Oh, I think I understand in a different way. Or this Prabhu told in that way. This Prabhu told in this way. Right? So many things that come. These are all actually impressions of the mind that doesn't allow you to focus, doesn't allow you to accept, doesn't allow you to implement also. Very dangerous. I don't know how many of you have such thoughts when you're hearing a class. I get a lot of these thoughts. Like very disturbing thoughts. Why are you hearing big deal? Like that. All these things keep coming. And on top of that, we also start judging the speakers. When somebody is speaking the scriptures, we also start judging them that, hey, I think he told correctly. He told better. I think they are contradicting. This Prabhu told like this Prabhu told like that. Because our mind likes to do that, such things, right? But we don't understand the essence of what that is being told. I'll tell you an example. There were two Vaishnava acharyas, very, very elevated acharyas, Jir Swamis, actually in Sri Sampradaya. And they both were reading Upanishads. And one Jir Swami told that a living entity, after leaving the body, immediately goes to the Lord's abode. If he's a devotee. If he's a devotee, right after he leaves the body, he immediately goes to Lord's abode. And another great sannyasi, the same Sampradaya, reads the Upanishad and he says there are 12 places where he stops, and in each place he is glorified and adored, and he is garlanded, and people, there are so many devatas who will pay obeisances to this person who's going back to Krishna. So there are 12 junctures, there are 12 places where they will actually pay obeisances, like that it is told, right? Now, who is right? Both these acharyas are telling that a devotee is going back to Krishna. Upanishads are speaking about the devotees going back to Krishna. But who is right? Right? One is telling after 12 stops he'll go. And other acharya is telling, how is it possible for a living entity who has identified Krishna, who has understood Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, to wait to go? Just like, I don't know how many of you have seen in a Goshala, I've seen many times, and I love this scene. Actually, the scene is so nice. Is that we leave a calf to go to its mother, to drink milk. Sometimes in the initial days, we keep the calf away from the mother, and because too much milk can spoil its stomach, etc. So when the right time comes, we bring the mother and we leave the calf, right? Now, when we leave the calf, the way the calf runs to the mother cow is a sight to see, is something when you see, you get inspired in your spiritual life. Actually, that is the way we should run to satsang. That is the way we should run to a devotee, to an acharya. That is the way we should run to Krishna. How? Like a calf, when it is left, it runs to its mother to drink milk. You're all understanding what I'm saying? Are you able to relate to what I'm saying?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
I mean, that is the consciousness, like, my mother has come, it's for me to, my life force has come. The same way, oh, satsang is there, I should go. Because for a living entity, that is the only place where the living entity's identity is revealed, where the living entity is able to connect to his source, where the living entity feels secured, where the living entity gets hope, where the living entity is extremely blissful and is and is completely secured in the arms of its source, Supreme Lord Krishna. So that is the eagerness that is needed. So this Acharya says, the Ijayar Swami Acharya says that how can a living entity stop in 12 stops before going to Krishna? How can he? He's waiting to go to Krishna for a long time now, for millions, zillions of lives. Now he's going, he will not stop. He'll go. There is no question of stopping. And other Acharya says that so many places and they garland him and they circumambulate him, and these great devatas are so happy that finally one living entity is going back to Krishna, to Goloka, like that. Now which one is right? Is the first Acharya right or the second Acharya right?
Both are right.
Both are right. Right? Both are right. Because you should see the essence of what each one of them is saying. Right? So we should, even though when we are hearing, we have this old marks we are carrying from previous lives, not to hear properly or to judge. We have to still hear attentively. And there is no other hope, Prabhuji. If we are reading this Bhagavatam today is Ekadashi, such an auspicious day, perfect time. We're all there, alive, breathing. None of us are in ICU right now. We're all in our houses. We have an opportunity. Our ears are still working. Nobody's wearing a hearing aid, right? So I think Krishna has done all arrangements, right? Power is there. Laptop is working. Zoom is working, right? So he has done everything, and he's given this Bhagavatam book also to us. And you all also have Bhagavatams in your house, right? If you have still not torn the, plastic cover on your Bhagavatam, please do it and bring that book in front of you, right? That book is eager to be opened. So you can open, it's page number 741, where we are in Canto 4, part 2, right? Everything is there. Now all you have to do is attentively hear. Attentively hear, submissively hear. What is that verse? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyantate jnanam jnananas tattvadarshinaha. Right? The tattva is already here. Bhagavatam tells you everything, right? So, in which part of the chapter we are is, before this, what happened is Prachina Barhi is having a conversation with Narad Muni. And Narad Muni sees Prachina Barhi needs some extra dose, right? Because he looks to be going into a ritualistic path, right? Ritualistic path of doing things. So, way back 3 chapters ago, Narad Muni started the story of Puranjana. Right? He started a story of Puranjana. He told what Puranjana does. And Puranjana is who? Puranjana is, you can see on your screen, this is Puranjana in front of you. Right? So Puranjana is that conditioned living entity who wants to enjoy this material world. There is no difference. He wants to enjoy. So now he explains how he is trying to enjoy in various chapters in a very allegoric way. And the beginning of this chapter, Prachina Bara says, Narad Muni, I know you explained this wonderful story, but there was one many, because you have given so many allegories and so many, indirect ways of saying. Directly bol do na. Jo kuch bhi bolna directly bol do. Right? Then Narad Muni says, okay, let me explain what each thing means, right? What the 9 gates mean, what the cities mean, what the different holes in the body mean. And he gives the actual explanation to each one of them. And is finally concluding here. Actually, the question that he has just explained whatever he told to Puranjana. So Narad Muni is concluding here, and this verse is almost like the second verse before conclusion, right? For the answer. So here in the 50th verse, he's saying that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a guide, for all living entities. And if you take shelter of him, he is our best friend, right? And everybody who takes shelter is no doubt is going back to him. One's life will be auspicious. So text 51, I'll read the translation. One who is engaged in devotional service has not the least fear in material existence. This is because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul and friend of everyone. One who knows this secret is actually educated. And one who is educated can become the spiritual master of the world. One who is an actually bona fide spiritual master, representative of Krishna, is not different from Krishna. Hare Krishna. So the greatest education is to understand who is God. And the greatest knowledge is to understand who is God. And the greatest preaching you can do is to tell people who is God. Right? That's all it is. The buck stops there. So, who all have started preaching in this group? All you have to do is tell Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's all. Right? That's all is preaching. That's all is hearing. Conclusion. Khatam. और उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है. And if you understood that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you are a spiritual master. And if you have not understood Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then no matter how many Vedas you know, no matter how many times you have finished Bhagavatam, how many times you have finished this Bhagavad Gita, and you're still not convinced that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, then Bhaiya, you are not a guru. A guru means somebody who repeats what his guru has given. And all the gurus and all the acharyas have concluded that there is this Krishna, Devaki Putra, Vasudeva Devaki Putra, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnu Puran is saying, Eko, that Devaki Putra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the Karana, Sarva Karana Karanam. Right? Shankaracharya is telling, Eko Bhagwan, Devaki, Eko Shastra, Devaki Putra Gitam. Right? And Eko Bhagwan, only one, that is it, Krishna. Every Acharya is very clear telling. Of this, there is no doubt. And the person who understands this is qualified to become a guru. Guru means what? Servant. Guru doesn't mean, you sit on some big dais and tell, serve me. No. Guru means now you have got the qualification to serve. Right? Now you can serve. Hare Krishna. Yes. So, one who is actually bona fide spiritual master, representative of Krishna, is non-different from Krishna. So, non-different from Krishna. Right? Sakshad Haritvena Shamasta Shastre. Right? Shakshad. Some people, when they sing this verse in Mangalarti, they sing Shakshad Dharitvena. No, it's not Dharitvena. Though, even though the word comes like that, it's Sakshad Haritvena. Right? Sakshad Haritvena Shamasta Shastre. Like that. You should sing. Okay, so please excuse me for skipping the purport. The big purports that Prabhupada has given, but I'm trying to explain the essence, right? So Prabhupada, the purport basically says, even if you're born in a family of dog eaters, right? Anybody who eats dogs or who ate dogs in the past? No. Maybe there are people who are eating dogs. So basically, there is one part of the world where people eat anything moving. Even they can become spiritual master, is what Prabhupada is saying. Right? If they understand who is Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes. Now Narad Muni is saying, the great saint Narada continued, "Oh great personality, I have replied properly about all that you have asked. Now here another narration that is accepted by saintly persons and is very confidential." Now Prabhuji, the real dosage is going to start. This is the conclusion of Puranjana's entire series of chapters, right? Is concluding here. Whatever has been told, now is telling the essence, that we should get out of all this story of, journey in this material world, everything that's happening. Actually, everybody who is hearing this class, if you understand the next 30 odd verses, right, our spiritual life will definitely become more solid, and there is a hope that will go back. Please pay attention. Very, very important, very intriguing, very frankly told, without any compromise, right? So now here he starts. Narad Muni, this is extra mercy. So question is answered. Now he's giving extra mercy. When does a guru give extra mercy?
When the disciple is more fallen.
When the disciple is attentive to hear. When the disciple is attentive to hear, then only he gives extra mercy. Prachina Bhari is very attentive to hear. He has been hearing for the last, I don't know, so many hours and the whole chapter, and then he attentively tells that, Prabhu, I could not understand. Can you put it in simple words? Simple words also is done. Now Narad Muni is very happy. My disciple has heard everything. Now let me give the ultimate essence, right? So text 53, please everybody. I'm sure you'll feel that you already know this philosophy, but know that you don't know this philosophy. You're going to hear it again clearly. My dear king, please search out that deer who is engaged in eating grass in a very nice flower garden along with his wife. That deer is very much attached to his business and he's enjoying the sweet singing of the bumblebees in the garden, in his garden. Just try to understand his position. He is unaware that before him is a tiger, which is accustomed to which is accustomed to living at the cost of another's flesh. Behind the deer is a hunter who is threatening to pierce him with sharp arrows. Thus, the deer's death is imminent. Hare Krishna. Just imagine again, Narad Muni is giving a small allegory to explain the position of a living entity. What is the position of a living entity? Huh? What is the position of living entity? Let me put it in our words, right? We are working in CMMI, certified company, Fortune 100, sitting in the cafeteria with our smartphone, and wife is also working in, company, or she's working in the house, doesn't matter, and a beautiful family, all set, right? All set to enjoy the life because enough salary is coming. Already some properties are left by the ancestors. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect, right? But what is the problem? There is a recession in the front, which is that you will lose your job. The tiger is sitting. Tiger is who? Your boss. Who will tell you will give you the pink slip. Vaya tera job ho gaya, get lost. Go to your house. Done. So you're not attentive. You're not attentive. What is going to happen? And behind you, who is standing? Kamaraj. अच्छा बेटा तेरे को इतना position मिल गया, huh? I'll give you another position in next life. Come, right? So death is standing right behind you, right? And this fellow, in spite of uncertainty of his employment and his source of income, is sitting in front of him. In spite of Yamaraj is sitting behind him to take out his soul from his body. What is this fellow thinking? I think I'll take my family tomorrow to Chutney's and I will order that nice, dish that I ate that time. And I think I'll invest in a second villa because I think my son might need another villa. I think I'll exchange my car and get another car because the next car is very new fashion and it's nicely modeled. And I think a fool is thinking like this. Right? A fool is thinking like this. Right? The same position. And along with whom? Along with whom you do your planning? Along with your wife. Right? Wife is sitting beside. And both of you are doing planning. What are you planning? I think we'll enjoy this life. We'll enjoy this life. Right? That is what we are thinking. I'm telling my position. I'm not teasing anybody. I'm telling about me. Right? That's what I do every morning on the dining table with my wife. Okay, where we should go, how we should enjoy, where we should spend, how the life should be. No, we have gone there. We should go somewhere here. But we don't see what exactly is happening because we're wasting our time in this material world. Death standing behind us, death standing in front of us, death standing all around us, and anytime anything can happen. In this week itself, I've heard 2 cases of people who died at the age of 50, 52. I am 47, 3 years away from death in a way, right? So how many days I have? 365 into 3. Kitna hai? 1050, 1070, something like that. So I only have 1070 days, and already one day I'm spending today, already gone. So 1069 days, right? And so what is my hope of becoming serious in spiritual life? When will my chanting improve? When will my conviction of going back to Krishna will improve? I don't know. No hope. And every time we read going back home, back to God. Hoga nahi hoga. Karna hai nahi karna hai. We don't know because we're not seeing in what precarious condition we are. See, Maya shows us a confidence that we are safe. Right? That's the role of Maya. In every situation, it will make you feel that you are safe. But Bhagavatam is telling Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Natesham. Right? Such an auspicious verse, right? Do you want to read this verse every morning when you get up? Text 53. chapters 29, Canto 4. Read this verse every morning. If you read this every morning, I am sitting with my wife in a flower garden, and in front of me there is a tiger ready to eat me, and then behind me is a hunter who is ready to pierce me. Hari Paul, have a good day. And let's go outside and start working. Right? So this is the situation we are in. Now text 54. Actually Bhagavatam has got some very difficult meters. Meters meaning verses which have to be read in different tunes. Can you see the next verse, the 54, the way it is? My God, it almost looks like a paragraph of Sanskrit, right? So that's why Bhagavatam is very special. That nothing that Vyasadeva did in the previous scriptures is done in the Bhagavatam. He has given some very interesting meters to read these verses. Anyway, we are reading the translation. My dear king, please everybody pay attention. My dear king, woman who is very attractive in the beginning, but at the end very disturbing, is exactly like a flower which is attractive in the beginning and detestable at the end. With women, the living entity is entangled with lusty desires. He enjoys sex, just as one enjoys the aroma of a flower. He thus enjoys a life of sense gratification, from his tongue to his genitals. And in this way, the living entity considers himself very happy in family life. United with his wife, he always remains absorbed in such thoughts. He feels great pleasure in hearing the talks of his wife and children, which are like sweet humming of bumblebees that collect honey from flower to flower. He forgets that before him is time, which is taking away his lifespan. With the passing of day and night, he does not see the gradual diminishing of his life, nor does he care about the superintendent of death who is trying to kill him from behind. Just try to understand this. You are in a precarious position and are threatened from all sides. प्रभु, इससे clear क्या हो सकता है? Prabhupada wrote a purport to a purport actually. It's fully explained by Vyasadeva, and Prabhupada becomes more ecstatic, right? And he goes further down explaining who are children, who are wife. My God, you become older and older. You still don't lose interest in palatable food. Prabhupada writes in the purport. You want to eat palatable food. A 80-year-old person also, even after he comes to satsang, when he goes on the terrace of the 4th floor, he asks, what is being served? Can you get me some more of this? Right? 80-year-old person, 90-year-old person, he still wants to select what has to be served because he has a favorite. I want my favorite thing more. I want the less favorite thing less. Right? That's what we do, right? How many of us have served on a serving table? We all have served, right? What do devotees, even people, Prabhu, thoda aur, thoda, ye zyada. नहीं प्रभु ये कम ये ज्यादा नहीं चाहिए, ये ज्यादा नहीं चाहिए, right? Why do you think they do that? बोलो, क्यों बोलते हैं?
Taste of the tongue.
We are servants of the tongue. That's all it is. We are servants of the tongue. Of course, some of them say, Prabhu, thoda do, because बहुत ज्यादा दे देते हैं. And Satya Prabhu will put double the quantity. ये लो. Sri Giriraj Prabhu will put triple the quantity. ये लो. But the point is, we are all servants of the tongue. And by the way, the people who want to eat less, why are they saying eat less? Of course, some of them are want to control their tongue. Some of them want to control their tongue so that their body is fit, so that they can enjoy their body again. Right? The spirit of enjoyment is still there behind. It's not like I'm eating less to not enjoy the body. I still want to enjoy the body. I want a fit body so that I can continue my sex life. I can continue my, my more life in this metal body, in this world. I don't want to die young. I want to make sure that my sons are settled. I want to be known as, in the lineage of my family, I should be known that the only father who settled not only his children, but also his grandchildren. किसी को है ऐसा desire? A lot of people, Prabhu, you should do for family, right? You should take care of them, right? You should settle them, right? You should do right. We do right. Of course, you should do. But are you in control of them? Are you desirous, and are you thinking that you are the one who is going to settle them? You are a fool if you are thinking that. Krishna already has made a plan for your children. You only have a role to play until you are breathing. That's all. Right? So people still have a plan to enjoy. So here Narad Muni is clearly saying that this is material life for you. But at the last line he says, you are in a precarious condition and are threatened from all sides. Let us meditate on this one line. You are in a precarious condition and are threatened from all sides. What does threatened from all sides mean? That from any side you can be attacked. Any side you can be attacked. Not physical side, even from inside you can be attacked. Right? What is the meaning of precarious condition? How do you explain what is precarious condition?
Most dangerous situation.
Most
Helpless.
dangerous condition.
Something which you cannot control.
So, helpless.
Helpless condition, something which you cannot control. And I'm looking for the ultimate answer. You are all right. The most ridiculous, precarious condition. When do you say it is in a precarious condition? You can simply say, right, dangerous condition or difficult condition. Precarious condition. I'll tell you what is precarious condition. Even if somebody comes and tells you you are in a difficult position, you are not right to understand. Even if you are being told, Ray, nee bhatka ayipoyindi, over. Are pagal, kuch nahi hai tere liye. You are done. You are still that fellow is not convinced. Still that fellow is not convinced. You are standing on the road, lorry is coming. Arey, hut. You're going to die. The fellow is like, no, I'm fine. Lorries come and go. Right? What? Can you help such a person? Can you help anybody who thinks is already knowledgeable? Can you help anybody who actually doesn't come to satsang to make progress? Can you help?
No.
That person is called precarious condition. Precarious condition. In spite of hearing so much, in spite of knowing so much, in spite, still when you're continuing to do nonsense, that is called precarious condition. Right? Narad Muni is saying, in English, Prabhupada used a perfect translation to what Narad Muni is saying. You are in a precarious condition and are threatened from all sides. Right? What is the hope? What is the hope for such a person? The hope is devotee association. Devotee association. Recently, day before yesterday, not day before yesterday, I think 3 days back, I was in hospital. I took my father to the hospital for a checkup. I took him there. He was finding it difficult to breathe. So then I was sitting there, I was looking at the patients, then I was thinking, then I also wrote this message that please give your counts for the satsang, right? Nobody is sending counts. Then I was thinking, what a precarious condition. What a precarious condition. That people still don't realize the importance of satsang. What if I tell you, in January, Gaur Gopal Prabhu is coming. Prabhuji, kaun weekend, Prabhuji? Kaun weekend? Kaun Sunday? Arey, Prabhuji, he's coming. Arey, I will come. Can I come? Can I bring people? Bol do kya? Who is coming in January? Gaur Gopal Prabhu will come and he will tell, you are in a precarious position and are threatened from all sides. Lilananda Das is telling, you are in a precarious position and are threatened from all sides. Srila Prabhupada is coming and telling, you are in a precarious position and are threatened from all sides. What is the difference? Bolo, kya difference hai? Anybody? He's,
So, but more advanced devotee says it has more influence from
what is the meaning of advanced?
more seniority, maybe probably.
No difference actually, Prabhu.
No difference, Prabhuji.
The
Prabhupada,
understanding.
Prabhupada took the words of a materialistic person as a message from Krishna many times. Our heart should be ready to receive the message even from the junior-most person in your satsang. Right? I heard this from my spiritual master. His only is Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He said, anybody who sits on the Vyasasan and is reading Bhagavatam is representing Vyasadeva. If you see the message and the person repeating that message, then the message should not be different. It should be impactful. It will be impactful. If you understand the message is coming from where, right? But unfortunately, due to material conditioning, that's what I wrote in the message. I don't know how many of you have read that message, right? I was typing, the whole message was typed sitting in front of a doctor's office. I was typing there. That this is what I'm seeing. And why do you think I go and try to find good important speakers for our satsang? Why do you think I do that? Why do you think I do that?
We get more fixed up. We get more dedicated.
That's the whole point. Thank you, Sunil Prabhu. That's the whole point. That we get more fixed up, right? Lord, let me tell you, a lot of people don't call speakers. Go and find out in so many other places how many senior devotees are coming on a periodic basis. How many are being called? They don't call for many reasons. I don't want to get into that. But Radhesham Prabhu is so beautifully guiding me, and my Siksha Guru who preached me has guided me, that Lilananda, you have to connect people to Krishna. That's your job. We are not here to make a gang. You have to connect people to Krishna, right? And for that, you have to bring on a timely basis a good person who is going to represent the message of Krishna and tell it more authoritatively so that people will become more fixed, right? And every satsang is important. So what a great soul tells and goes, we discuss in the next satsang. That's my job. I have to discuss in the next satsang. Whatever we heard from Pranavananda Prabhu or from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, we further discuss it. We contemplate on it. Hearing is one thing, contemplation another thing. So every satsang is important. Wherever you're going, I'm not telling come to this place, come to our satsang, mera tu, you're part of my gang. Movie hai na, tu mere gang se nahi ja sakta baar. Spiritual life is not like that. It's about getting inspired. It's about getting inspired and being sincere wherever we are and enthusiastic. How enthusiastic? Can anybody tell how enthusiastic we should be to go to a satsang? Just some time back I told.
Just like a calf
The
going to
calf
its
going to
mother.
mother.
Correct. Just like a calf running to its mother to take milk. Right? That is the enthusiasm we should have. Then, when we have that enthusiasm, then whoever is the speaker, you will hear the message directly going into your heart. And transformation will start. Otherwise, you keep reading these verses again and again and again. Like all of these things you already knew, right? I think once you have come to ISKCON, at least you would have been threatened 2,000 times that you will die soon. ISKCON is the only institution where we directly tell, "Tu marne wala hai, abhi to serious ho ja." Right? And this verse also is telling the same thing, where to King Prachinabari, Narad Muni is telling, this is the condition of a living entity. You are in a precarious condition. So, and you're threatened from all sides. So become serious. Text 55. My dear king, just try to understand the allegorical position of the deer. By fully conscious of yourself, give up the pleasure of hearing about promotion to heavenly planets by fruitive activity. Give up household life, which is full of sex, as well as stories about such things, and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the mercy of liberated souls. In this way, please give up your attraction for material existence. Heavy, na? Right? He's saying, give up your attraction for material existence. Krishna, this is too much, Krishna. Thoda compromise, thoda discount do mere ko. Right? How can I give up all attraction to the material world? How can I live without being attracted to the material world? How can I do my work? How can I continue? मेरे बच्चों का क्या होगा? See, Prabhu, still we are in the same impression that we are the controllers. You have been given a role to be a parent. Most of them here in the call are parents, and some of them will become parent, will get married later. These are all roles. Arthamayinda? They are not. You are getting from one role to another role, and till the time you are in that role, do your best. But don't think you have control on the end result. Right? We don't have. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturpur mate sangoshtu karmani. You cannot have attachment to the result. The result is not in your hand. So don't be attached. Prabhu, we all should lead such a life that if Krishna comes to take us, not even a tinge of feeling we should have, mere bachchon ka kya hoga? You understanding? Because we should have faith that Krishna will take care of them. Period. If we are still thinking, mere bachchon ka kya hoga? Of course, that feeling as a parent will be there. What will happen to my wife? She'll beg in the streets. What will happen to my children? They'll beg in the streets. If I die, so many home loans, car loan, TV loan, what will happen to them? You might think all those things. But you should also know that the controller is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by the way, your time to go is already fixed. It's not going to change. Your death date is already ready. It can be today also. On that death day, when Krishna comes in front of you, till that time you may have an anxiety of how should I take care of my family. But as soon as you see Krishna, you should also be prepared to tell Krishna, Krishna, chalo. Krishna, let's go. Done. And Krishna might actually say, you want to look back? No, I don't want to look back. But what about, Maya will tell, what about your son? What about your daughter? Oh, you didn't give those documents to your wife? Oh, nobody knows that you have that fixed deposit in that bank? Except you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Go. That is called detachment. Complete detachment from this material world. You are in this world, but are of not this world. You're not of this world. You are doing things, but you're completely detached from it. You should develop to that point. I'm in that stage. I'm not saying you are in that stage. We should develop ourselves. Complete detachment. Complete distastefulness towards this world. Grina. How many of you have served notice period in your office? Somewhere you would have served, right? Huh? The last day of your notice period. How will you feel about that company? Huh? Last day. Khatam. Detached. You'll feel very detached, right? Mera kuch nahi. On last day, somebody will come and tell, hey, the document you did not keep in the right folder. What will your reaction? Which document? Which project? Done. I'm done. I'm done. It's the last day of my notice period. I have nothing to do here. Of course, there is a lot of irresponsibility in that example. But the feeling that you have nothing to do and your notice period, how many days notice period you have in this material world, Prabhujis and Matajis? How much notice period will you be given to leave your current body?
No notice period.
Unknown, Prabhuji.
No notice period. कोई notice period नहीं है कि नहीं? Done. Immediately. There is no pink slip also. Directly, Yamadutas will come, Khatam, you're gone. Right? So, Krishna is telling that, my dear king, just try to understand the allegorical position of the deer. Be fully conscious of yourself and give up the pleasure of hearing about promotion to heavenly planets. Don't even hear such things. When some people, they still want to hear, oh, you'll at least go to heaven. Or if you do this vrata, it will be auspicious in your house. These are all ritualistic thoughts. What auspiciousness are you talking about? What is auspicious in this world? Tell me. Nothing. But still, we land up doing some things because we are still not totally convinced of the precarious nature of this world. And we do it for us, for serving devotees. That's a different thing. Right? There are, materialistic people, they do all kinds of vratams because they want to be happy in this material life. Why do they do vratam? They want to be happy in this material life. But devotees do vratam to call devotees and do kirtan. It's a bahana. It's a bahana to do more vratas. That is a difference. Right? That is a difference. Don't look for yoga kshemam atmavan. Don't look for safety and settlement in this material world. Don't look for it. Why we should not look for it? Anybody? Why we should not look for yoga kshemam in this material world?
We can't find it.
It's not there. Pagal, it's not there. है ही नहीं यहाँ पे क्या ढूंढ रहा है? Right? It's not there. It's like going to an astrologer and saying, sir, tell me my good time is going on or bad time is going on. Right? If he's a devotee astrologer, he'll tell तेरा तो bad time बहुत पहले चालू हो गया. That you are in this material world. You being in this material world itself is a bad time. What are you talking about good time and bad time? Huh? Like Prabhupada gives the example of what is the better stool, dry or fresh? Abhi kutta tatti diya. Dog came and just put tatti on the floor. And on the beside is another dog which put tatti, yesterday. Yesterday one is dry, this one is fresh. Which is better? कौन सा टट्टी अच्छा है? अच्छा वाला या फ्रेश वाला या पुराना वाला? Once my spiritual master, long time back, he tells this example that when this example was heard by him, he actually wanted to taste and see which is better. Only a crazy person can do that. And he was saying, I'm a crazy person like that. I want to find out everything by myself. Like that. He was making fun, like he was making fun. But there are fools in this world who actually want to taste that shit. There are fools. They are there. Don't think, this is an allegoric example. There are fools who want to taste it. Right? Who want to taste which is a better stool. Yesterday's or today's. Which is a better flat. Old one or new one. Which is a better car. Old one. Bolo bhaiya. New one.
New one.
It's nothing but which is a better jewelry. Old one or new one. Which is a better sari. Old one, new one. Huh? Hare Krishna. Text 56. The king replied, my dear Brahmana. Now Prachinabari is saying, my dear Brahmana, whatever you have said, I have heard with great attention, and considering all of it, have come to the conclusion that acharyas, teachers who engage me in fruitive activity, did not know this confidential knowledge. If they were aware of it, why did they not explain it to me? Right? Now, see the contradiction. He's saying there are still some people on this planet who will not guide you properly. They might look like Brahmanas. They might look like sadhus also, unfortunately. But nobody will tell what Narad Muni is telling. Huh? He's telling, the king is telling, I was not directed. They were like my spiritual masters. They were like my gurus. But nobody told what is really beneficial for me. Hare Prabhus, we are surrounded by such kind of people outside. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, without any hesitation to tell, is the only Acharya this planet has seen who has told things so clearly, bluntly, frankly, without any compromise. कुछ घुमा फिरा के नहीं बोला, सीधा सीधा बोल दिया. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Of this there is no doubt, Prabhu. You go and ask, you go to a, I'm not judging anybody. Go to a temple and ask, what is the right thing to do in this world? They'll tell, do Satyanarayana Vratam, do Linga Puja, do this Homam, do Godanam, do Go Seva, do this, do that. All these things are good. But what is the most important? Krishna consciousness. Nobody will tell that. Surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody will tell that. There is nothing called surrender. Right? Nobody will tell that. Only Prabhupada is telling very clearly. And Prabhu, that is the most confidential knowledge. What is the most confidential knowledge of the entire Vedas? Is to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to develop Krishna consciousness, is the most confidential knowledge. If you are not doing that, then everything that you have with you is a baggage. Is a baggage on your head. Sastav, nothing will come out of it. You'll drown with it in the material ocean more and more and more. I know the entire Bhagavad Gita. I know all the chapters. I know I have written this also. I know all these mantras also. For what? If you have not surrendered, what is the use of all that? Right? It is of no use. It's of no use. Right? That is what King Prachinapari is telling. Hare, Narad Muni, all those people who came before you, they told me different things. You are giving the most confidential knowledge to me. They never told me all these things. Text 57. My dear Brahmana, there are contradictions between your instructions and those of my spiritual teachers who engaged me in fruitive activities. I now can understand the distinction between devotional service, knowledge, and renunciation. I had some doubts about them, but you have now very kindly dissipated all these doubts. I can now understand how even the great sages are bewildered by the real purpose of life. Of course, there is no question of sense gratification. Even the great sages are bewildered. Actually, there is a verse in the beginning of this chapter where Narad Muni explains who all gets bewildered. Let me read that verse. Where in the beginning it is there. Who all can be bewildered? Talks about it. Is that verse? Sorry, I should have marked it when I was reading it. It's a wonderful explanation. Basically, in that verse, directly, he's quoting all the devatas, all the great rishis, right? He's quoting almost everybody. Anyway, forget about it. I'll send that verse later. Directly, Narad Muni is quoting saying, the four Kumaras, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, the great Acharyas, the Sapta Rishis, the great Devatas, all these people also don't know completely about the Supreme Lord. This is direct verse. Direct. There is no indirect thing. You can actually quote it. I wanted to learn that verse and keep it handy so that if somebody talks any nonsense, I can direct it, quote that. This is what is told in Bhagavatam. Everybody can get confused. And the verse also says, only a devotee knows God. What a verse. Only a devotee knows who is God. And Prabhus and Matajis, we are so unfortunate that we don't know how fortunate we are that such devotees are in our life. Do you know how fortunate we are? This satsang, this ISKCON moment, we are so fortunate that such people, such great acharyas are there in our moment, who are not going to tell us about heavenly planets, who are not going to instruct us about enjoyment in this world, who are only going to tell, go back to Krishna, who are going to remind us, go back to Krishna. Yes, Lovesh Prabhu. You have the verse number?
42 to 44.
44. Thank you. Verse number 44. Thank you, Prabhu. See this. The most powerful Lord Brahma, the father of all progenitors, Lord Shiva, Manu, Daksha, and all other rulers of humankind, the four saintly first-class brahmacharis headed by Sanaka and Sanatana, the great sages Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulatsya, Pulaha, Kratu, Brigu, and Vashishta, and my humble self, Narada, he is telling about himself also, Narada, are all stalwart Brahmanas who can speak authoritatively on Vedic literature. We are very powerful because of austerities, meditation, and education. Why they are powerful? Austerities, meditation, and education. Nonetheless, even after inquiring about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who we always see, we do not know perfectly about him. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, how do you understand this? Right? It is that important to understand what is the message coming out of this verse. The message that is coming out of this verse is how careful we should be while we are accepting a spiritual master. What kind of a message is going to give to us about the Supreme Lord, right? Because that will motivate us to go back to him. And what will be the goal of our life? Very fixed. We are going back to Krishna. We are not going to be attached to anything in this world. We are fixed up in our devotional service. And Prachinabari is so clearly saying, the distinction I can clearly see between knowledge, renunciation, I can clearly see now. Text 58. The results of whatever a living entity does in this life are enjoyed in the next life. Now, please hear the next verses. I'm going to go a little fast here. Okay. So it's telling how our transmigration happens from body to body. The results, one second, somebody has sent a comment. Okay. Yeah. So the results of whatever a living entity does in this life are enjoyed in the next life. Whatever you did now will come to the next life. Direct. 59. The expert knowers of the Vedic conclusions say that one enjoys or suffers the results of his past activities. But practically, it is seen that the body that performed the work in the last birth is already lost. So how is it possible to enjoy and suffer the reactions of the work in a different body? Right? Now, Prachinabari is asking, in the last life, I had a body to enjoy. I did all some good things. I should actually enjoy in that body only, right? How can I enjoy that in this body? You all understood the question? Right? Now, the most secret is being revealed by Narad Muni. Please pay attention. The great sage Narada continued. The living entity acts in a gross body in this life. This body is formed to act by the subtle body composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. After the gross body is lost, the subtle body is there to enjoy or suffer. Thus, there is no change. So, after we leave this body, we still will have our subtle body. Subtle body is what? Our mind, our intelligence, and our ego. These three things are there, Prabhu. These three things will also go to the next body. Now, let us hear further. Text 61. The living entity, while dreaming, gives up the actual living body. Through the activities of his mind and intelligence, he acts in another body, either as a god or as a dog. After giving up this gross body, the living entity enters either an animal body or a demigod's body, or on this planet or on another planet. He thus enjoys the results of the actions of his past life.
पिकअप
Directly
करना है
saying,
ओनर को टावर 5 12 जस्ट पिकअप कर यार 2 मिनट में
somebody is coming to pick us up from this body and take us to the next body. Satyadev Prabhu is telling. Hare Krishna. Text 62. The living entity labors under the bodily conception of I am this, I am that. My duty is this, and therefore I shall do it. These are all mental impressions, and all these activities are temporary. Nonetheless, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity gets a chance to execute all his mental concoctions. Thus, he gets another body. Prabhu, we will get another body. If we don't curb our material desires, we will get another material. What body you're going to get next? Do you know what body you're going to get next? Lois Prabhu? South India, North India?
Don't know, Prabhuji.
I'm very attracted to the parathas made by Haripriya Mataji. So Pakka I'll take birth in Punjab. Pakka I'll take birth in Punjab.
I think I'll get more unlimited bodies, body after body after body. So many desires are there. Materially.
And it is explained in this chapter sometime later that our next body is already ready and fully formed before we leave this body. Do you know this? My next body is already half created, already there. Right? It's already there. Narada Muni gives an example, just like a caterpillar, when it is leaving one leaf and going to another leaf, it finds the another leaf, keeps its two legs on the other leaf, and then leaves the previous leaf. In the same way, a living entity also, he keeps his body is already created to fulfill the desires, and then he leaves this body. And actually, once I heard from a senior devotee, now this is very bewildering. Our next 10 bodies are already ready. 10 bodies. According to the desires we have in this material world, our next 10 bodies are already ready. 10 body apne ready. Are you ready? Are we ready? Next 10 bodies? Huh? Just think about it. If you close your eyes and meditate, 10 bodies are already ready. My God, it's scary actually. Kidhar ja rahe hum log? What is going on? And on that body also, you are going to go through, what is it? Kaumaram, Yavanam, Jara. You are going through childhood, youth, and old age. In this body, where are we right now? Just think about it. Are you old? No. I used to be old a couple of weeks ago. Now I become young again. Hare Krishna. Yes. Text 63. One can understand the mental and conscious position of a living entity by the activities of two kinds of senses, the knowledge acquiring senses and executive senses. Similarly, by the mental condition or consciousness of a person, one can understand his position in the previous life. So Nadun is saying, just by looking at a person, you can understand what his previous life could have been. Right? What his previous life could have been. And by looking at a person, you can also tell what his next life also will be. Right? Just by looking at his activities. We can know that. It's not a big, difficult thing. What do you think in next life I'll be? Look at me, how I'm changing my body shape. I'll definitely be elephant in next life. Minimum 50 kgs a day I have to eat, isn't it? So you can know, just by seeing a person, you will know where are you going, which body you are going to take next. It's very easy to understand, right? 64. Sometimes we suddenly experience something that was never experienced in the present body by sight or hearing. Sometimes we see such things suddenly in dreams. Prabhu, this is a very, very intriguing verse. Huh? I had this discussion. I was fortunate to have this discussion when I was in America, when two great souls visited our community. Niranjan Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Niranjan Swami Maharaj, and His Holiness Vaisheshika Prabhu. Right? Both of them came, and we were having a kirtan come discussion kind of a session. We had actually invited Niranjan Swami Maharaj, but Vaisheshika Prabhu also came because Niranjan Maharaj was there. He found out where is Maharaj, and Vaisheshika Prabhu also came. So great stalwarts were there, and I was sitting, somewhere in the satsang, and the time came for question answers, and I asked them this question: what we are seeing in the dreams? What are these dreams? What we are seeing in the dreams? What exactly is going on? Who creates the script of these dreams? That was my question. Who scripts these dreams? And what we are seeing in the dream, how come, it feels so real? Are you understanding? It's a fundamental question, scientific question. If you really ask, what is these dreams? No scientist can answer. No science can answer. Ask them why we dream, what we dream. They'll tell, oh, your fears come in your dreams, your happiness comes in. No, a lot of times we see things we have never seen before. A lot of times we do things we have never done before. There's nothing but our impressions of our past lives. We will see in our dreams. Sometimes even this life, impressions we see in our dreams. Right? Yes, sometimes what we focus a lot keeps coming in the dream, but a lot of things, you might even see your past life wife in your dream, right? And you can't recognize her, but your impressions are so strong. You had some vasana to enjoy something in previous life. You might get a dream that you are enjoying that in this life, right? And you get up and think, oh my God, what did I dream? How did this dream come to me? I never thought like this. In this life, you're not thinking like that, but in the past life, you thought like that. Narad Muni is clarifying that. Text 65. Therefore, my dear king, the living entity who has a subtle mental covering develops all kinds of thoughts and images because of his previous body. Take this from me as certain. He's saying, understand that this is certain. This is the truth. There is no possibility of concocting anything mentally without having perceived it in the previous body. You cannot concoct. Whatever you're experiencing in your dreams, in your thoughts, is all because of your past life. Some people are very take it easy in this life. How? Because you were take it easy in last life. Some people are very picky and pessimistic in this life. Why? Because in past life you are like that. How are you getting these qualities? How are you getting these qualities? You are getting these qualities because of your past life. That's what you wanted. That's the kind of body you got. O king, text 66. O king, all good fortune unto you. The mind is the cause of the living entities attaining a certain type of body in accordance with his association with material nature. According to one's mental composition, one can understand what the living entity was in his past life, as well as what kind of body he will have in the future. Thus, the mind indicates the past and future bodies. The mind indicates. The mind indicates what you are going to get in future life. See, I don't want to name the devotee. He's in the call, but he was telling about his boss. That his boss cannot live without non-vegetarian. He has to have non-vegetarian. He took his boss to a very holy place. And in that holy place, instead of appreciating the holy place, maybe he appreciated a little. When he asked, how did you like this place? You know what was the answer? One day you did not allow me to eat eggs or non-vegetarian. I don't like this place. What do you think he'll become in next life? Huh? Is there a guessing needed? Do you want to guess what he'll become? He'll become a tiger. He'll become a carnivorous animal. He'll become a rat. He'll become a cat. He'll become a vulture hunting for meat and blood. So you don't have to guess. Yes, Prabhu, you want to say something, Lois Prabhu?
I think he will get a better destination
Because he went to the holy place?
because he is taken by a devotee in our system.
I know.
So
I was going to say that also at the end. I was going to say that at the end. That what did a devotee do? He just detoured him to a better destination. Right? That's what devotees do. We interfere in the race to hell. We interfere in the race to hell of many people. And we detour them from going to hell. For some time, we take them to a better destination where they have an opportunity of not going to hell. Right? That's what a devotee does. I can tell you, taking birth in the family that I am born, in the region of, I always keep repeating that, right? What region I am born from, what kind of family I come from. There is actually, I should not be in this attire. I should not be in this satsang. I should not be talking about Bhagavatam. There is no link. right? I was straight heading towards hell. There is no there is no discussion on that, right? But who came into my life? One devotee came into my life, and he changed everything. And he said, "Okay, you want to go to hell? I know that. You're destined to hell. I know that. But now I'm giving you an opportunity of getting some more understanding." Yeah, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Haribol.
I have a question, Prabhuji. You were saying that Prabhuji who is hunting for meat will become a carnivorous animal, right, Prabhuji? But then won't he become a chicken in case because he eats the chicken to get the karma?
Yeah, chicken is also a carnivorous bird, right?
Oh, okay.
Right? Chicken also eats insects. Chicken also eats. It also eats grains, both. So people who eat non-veg and veg will become chicken.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
But yeah, so but understand the essence of what's being discussed here is that our next life, Narad Muni is saying, a next life is already it can already be seen of what will become until a devotee interferes. If a devotee interferes, we are detoured. We are detoured. Remember that. I am not using the word we are stopped. We are detoured. We are detoured to a point where we can choose whether to go forward or whether to change the route altogether. Right? Prabhuji and Mataji, on 23rd of December, we're all going out for book distribution. All of us are going. Everybody will hold books and a kerchief. You know what is the books for? Why is the kerchief? I carry a kerchief whenever I go for two reasons. One, nobody will buy, so I'll cry. So I need a kerchief. Two, somebody will spit on my face. I need a kerchief to wipe my face. Right? So carry a book and a kerchief and go and distribute books. You know why? Because Prabhupada told that is the greatest welfare to the mankind, to the society. Distribute this divine knowledge, this purpose of Prabhupada. When people read, they'll realize, oh my God, what am I doing in Microsoft? Oh my God, what am I doing in Amazon? Oh my God, what am I doing in airport? Oh my God, what am I doing here, there, whatever. Right? Their spiritual life will start. Yeah. So, 66. O King, all good fortune unto you. The mind is the cause of all living entities attaining a certain type of body in accordance with the association with material nature. According to one's mental composition, one can understand what the living entity was in his past life, as well as what kind of body he will have in the future. Thus, the mind indicates the past and the future bodies. We already discussed this. 67. Sometimes in a dream, we see something never experienced or heard in this life, but all these incidents have been experienced at different times, in different places, and in different conditions. Very bold. Prabhupada gives a lot of examples here. It says, for instance, we may see an ocean on the peak of a mountain, or we may see that the ocean has dried up. These are simply combinations of different experiences in time and space. Right? You may take 68. The mind of a living entity continues to exist in various gross bodies, and according to one's desires of sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combinations. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or never heard before. So, mind is carrying all these impressions. Text 69. Krishna consciousness means constantly associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. What does this mean? Prabhus, please pay attention. Huh? Please, this is very important verse Narad Muni is saying. Krishna consciousness means constantly associating with Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. Such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest exactly like the dark planet known as Rahu, which is observed in the presence of the full moon. Huh? When can you see Rahu? When eclipse happens. Until eclipse happens, you can't see Rahu. It's so dark. So, A living entity, only when he serves the Supreme Lord, can see the way Supreme Lord can see. When Krishna sees the material world, what does he see? He sees living entities suffering. He sees living entities confused and existing. He sees living entities still not convinced. He sees living entities who are somehow trying to come to him. When we get the vision of God, that is how we'll see this world also. You understanding? And that is how you will see yourself also. You'll get a clear vision. That's what you'll get. You'll get a clear vision of what exactly your position is. Shastra Chakshu. Chakshu. Bhagavan's Chakshu. Vision of God you'll get. Right? It's amazing, right? I mean, when how Prabhupada used to see the world, like Krishna used to see the world. And Acharya sees the world exactly like God sees the world. Right? That's why they become so compassionate. Compassion doesn't come just like that. We ask, some of us try to preach, people don't come, or people are, we start becoming judgmental, you get angry, you get upset. But when Krishna preaches, he doesn't get upset because he knows what is the situation of people. He doesn't get upset. That's the quality of great acharyas. They are more compassionate. They keep telling things to bring them, but they never become angry because they know. Of course, when you love somebody, anger also comes. Krishna might become angry that why is this fellow still taking so much time instead of sending so much association. But that is a vision you get when you serve the Supreme Lord. Text 70. As long as there exists a subtle material body composed of intelligence, mind, and senses, sense objects, and the reactions of material qualities, the consciousness of false identification and its relative objects, the gross body exists as well. So as long as we have all these desires, gross body will be there. You will get a gross body. Text 71. When the living entity is in deep sleep, when he faints, please pay attention. It's very, very nice verse. When we will feel out of the body experience, is telling here. When a living entity is in deep sleep, when he faints, when there is some great shock on account of severe loss, at the time of death, or when the body temperature is very high, the movement of the life air is arrested. At that time, the living entity loses knowledge of identifying the body with the self. Only certain times you actually don't identify with the body because you are going through so much pain or you're so much out of it, right? These are the only instances, like you faint, you forget that you're the body, you're fainted, you're in coma, right? So these are the only times Narad Muni is saying. Text 72. When one is a youth, all the 10 senses in the mind are completely visible. However, in the mother's womb or in the boyhood state, the sense organs in the mind remains covered, just as the full moon is covered with the darkness of the dark moon night, right? So a small child may not look lusty. A small child may not think in a lusty way. Does it mean he is not lusty? He is. But at that time, his sense is not activated. That's all. He has a sense, but it is not activated. So we are just activating one by one thing as we grow in the body. One by one sense is getting activated. And the mind is waiting for those senses to be activated to fulfill its desires. So why is it told that spirituality should be given at a young age? Is because before the mind attacks, you're already feeding your intelligence to stop that mind from doing further damage. Right? But if you take spirituality later in your life, then you've already done a big mistake. Your intelligence is already polluted. Your intelligence is already polluted. If you were given this education when you were young, your intelligence would have been clean. But your intelligence is already polluted. Mind is already gone. Now you are starting your spiritual life. Very difficult. We are seeing that, many of us, including me, who started little late in spiritual life, is struggling with senses, struggling with mind, because training was not given at the young age. When the living entity dreams, the sense objects are not actually present. However, because one is associated with the sense objects, they become manifest. Similarly, the living entity with the undeveloped senses does not cease to exist materially, even though he may not be exactly in contact with the sense objects. So exactly, for a child, he is not in contact with the sense objects, but doesn't mean that his senses are not there. Right? That's what he's trying to tell. Narad Muni is telling. 74. The 5 sense objects, the 5 sense organs, the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, and the mind are the 16 material expansions. These combine with the living entity and are influenced by the 3 modes of material nature. Thus, the existence of the conditioned soul is understood. Hare Krishna. Text 75. By the virtue of the process of the subtle body, the living entity develops and gives up gross bodies. This is known as the transmigration of the soul. Thus, the soul becomes subjected to different types of so-called enjoyment: lamentation, fear, happiness, and unhappiness. All this is experiencing why? Happy, unhappy, fear, comfort. All this are because we are transmigrating. Body to body, body to body. Our desires are there. Text 77, 76, 77. The caterpillar, here is the example. The caterpillar transports itself from one leaf to another by capturing one leaf before giving up the another. Hari Bol. Similarly, according to his previous work, the living entity must capture another body before giving up the one he has. This is because the mind is the reservoir of all kinds of desires. Mind is the reservoir of all kinds of desires. Remember that. What is mind? Mind is the reservoir. Reservoir. You know how big is the reservoir? मालूम है reservoir कितना बड़ा होता है? So many desires we have, right? And we will get the next body. Our next body is already ready. How many of you want to know what is the next body? मालूम करना है? Or how many of you already know what is the next body? Text 78. As long as we desire to enjoy sense gratification, we create material activities. When the living entity acts in the material field, he enjoys the senses. And while enjoying the senses, he creates another series of material activities. In this way, the living entity becomes entrapped as a conditioned soul. He is entrapped. Mar gaya, phas gaya, khatam. He is like done. He is entrapped, one after the other, one after the other, desire after desire, settlement after settlement. Text 79. You should always know that this cosmic manifestation is created, maintained, and annihilated by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, everything within this cosmic manifestation is under the control of the Lord. To be enlightened by this perfect knowledge, one should always engage himself in devotional service to the Lord. So what is the result of all this knowledge that we just discussed? He should become a devotee. Become a devotee. Become a devotee means what? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam. Surrender to the Supreme Lord. That's all. Right? And understand that he is controller. He is controller. He is taking care of everything. He is taking care of everything. He'll also take care of your family. Prabhus, he'll also take care of your family. Matajis, he'll also take care of your family. Grand Matajis, Grand Prabhujis, he'll also take care of your grandchildren. Please, get ready to go back. Text 80. So the conversation between Narad Muni and Prachina Bari is finished. Hari Bol. Now, Maitreya Uvacha, the great sage Maitreya continued. The supreme devotee, the great saint Narada, thus explained to King Prachina Bari the constitutional position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity. After giving an invitation to the king, Narada Muni left to return to Siddhaloka. Right? So, Maitreya Muni is finishing saying that Narad Muni has told all these things to Prachina Bari and he has left. Now, what will Prachina Bari do after that? Text 81. In the presence of his ministers, the saintly king Prachina Bari left orders for his sons to protect the citizens. He then left home and went off to undergo austerities in a holy place known as Kapilashrama. So he gave up, done, retirement, no more auspicious or inauspicious activities. I am done. Now I don't have much time. So let me go. Hari Bol. Text 82. Having undergone austerities and penances at Kapilashrama, King Prachinabari attained full liberation from all material designations. He constantly engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and attained a spiritual position qualitatively equal to that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prachinabari has gone back to Krishna, to spiritual abode. Hari Bol. After hearing to Narad Muni, Prachinabari has gone. Now, what about our position? Are we all here in Gachibowli, or we have already gone to Krishna? So let us see what Narad Muni is telling, or what is Maitreya Muni telling to Vidura. He's saying, my dear Vidura, one who hears this narration, whatever we discussed, not only this chapter, but all the Prabhus, Lovesh Prabhu, Giriraj Prabhu, Subbarao Prabhu, Mahesh Prabhu, we all have been discussing Dasraj Prabhu. For the last so many weeks, we are discussing the whole saga of Prachinabari's discussion with Narad Muni. So, one who hears this narration concerning the understanding of the living entity's spiritual existence, as described by the great sage Narad Muni, or who relates to it to others, he either reads it or relates it to others, will be liberated from the bodily conception of life. Ho gaya, khatam. Right? You are liberated from bodily conception of life. Meaning, तुम समझ गए हो कि body क्या है और soul क्या है. Next, further. This narration spoken, text 84, this narration spoken by great sage Narada is full of transcendental fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, this narration, when described, certainly sanctifies this material world. It purifies the heart of the living entity and helps him attain his spiritual identity. One who relates this transcendental narration will be liberated from all material bondage and will no longer have to wander within this material world. Don't have to wander within the material world. No problem. Done. Ho gaya. Finally, text number 85. We are concluding. This is the last verse. Actually, after that, there are some extra texts. The allegory of the King Puranjana described herein, according to the authority, was heard by me from my spiritual master, and it is full of spiritual knowledge. If one can understand the purpose of this allegory, he will certainly be relieved from the bodily conception and will certainly understand life after death. Although one may not understand what transmigration of the soul actually is, one can fully understand it by studying this narration. So how the soul goes from body to body, why it goes, how it gets the next body, everything is explained. So these are the extra verses, special note. The verses appear. So text 1a to 2a, I'll just read the translation. A desire to maintain body, wife and children is also observed in animal society. The animals have full intelligence to manage such affairs. If a human being is simply advanced in this respect, what is the difference between him and an animal? One should be very careful to understand that this human life is attained after many, many births in the evolutionary process. A learned man who gives up the bodily conception of life, both gross and subtle, will, by the enlightenment of the spiritual knowledge, become a prominent individual spirit soul, as the Supreme Lord is also. Text 1b. If a living entity is developed in Krishna consciousness and is merciful to others, and if his spiritual knowledge of self-realization is perfect, he'll immediately attain liberation from the bondage of material existence. Last. Please, everybody. Everything happening within time, which consists of past, present, and future, is merely a dream. Right? Everything happening within time, which consists of past, present, and future, is merely a dream. That is the secret of understanding all Vedic literature. Hare Krishna. What a conclusion. Huh? Everything that is happening right now, what happened in the past, what is going to happen in the future is like a dream only. Because nothing is going to come out of it. If you understood this, you understood the entire Vedic literature. Maitreya Muni ki jai. Vidura Muni ki jai. King Prachinabari ki jai. Narad Muni ki jai. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purport of the 4th canto, 29th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Talks Between Narada and King Prachita Barihi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantha ki jai. So any questions,
Hare
thoughts?
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Prabhuji, Lalit Mohan Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Prabhu, sorry Prabhu. Yeah.
My Maitreya Muni has
Don't
come.
embarrass me, Prabhu. Don't embarrass me, Prabhu, please. Yeah, Prabhu, you said that, already our next bodies are defined and, they're already made because of our desires and all. Yes, we know that our desires are very, very strong. And we also know it's very, very tough to come out of them. And at the same time, we also have a hope on one side. Whenever we read Bhagavatam, we have many hope-giving verses that 1 second is enough, Truti Kala. Within that, they got liberated. And if we see their past, they're not, uh, they're not eligible for going to the. It feels like, it appears like. So how to understand these things, Prabhuji, in our own life, this Anartha Nivritti, it's such a. Anartha is very strong, Prabhuji. They are very strong. And as age is passing by, we can come to know that with this body, we cannot do that. We cannot, it's very tough for us to set the standards. And on the other hand, we hear that, within 1 second is enough. So how to correlate these two things, Prabhuji? Because, we are not going to be that exception. Within 1 second, we will go back home, back to Godhead. We are not that exceptions. We know that. We are like a general, regular public, like, who will go through. So when we are already, when we know that it is very tough to come out of this vasanas, and we know that, we will go to some body in the next life, still how to cope up with the Bhakti, Prabhu?
He will take
Hari
us.
Hari.
He will take us. Can you all see the picture? He will take us. That is only hope. If you ask me, you're asking me the question. I'm not representing any senior devotee right now. If you're asking me that question, he will take us. He'll take me. I have that confidence. If he also cannot take me, then who can take me? He is powerful. He is extremely powerful. He's a great devotee. His divine grace has no limits. He will take.
But why, Prabhu, it appears that, our vasanas are even more stronger as day passes by, they are becoming more and more stronger.
No matter how powerful our vasanas are, they are not more powerful than the mercy of a pure devotee. They're not more powerful than that. Can I see your lotus face, bro?
Prabhu, please don't embarrass me.
Lava matra sadhu sangha sarva
Hari
siddhya.
Hari, Prabhu, was Prabhu.
I am delivered. Thank you. Hare Krishna. No, Prabhu, really. We have to help each other. We have to give hope to each other. It's hope against hope. Will my sex desire go? Will my lusty feelings go? Will my anger go? Will my greed go? Will my insecurities go? I was hearing this lecture by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and he was telling what is the consciousness living in a material world. The consciousness living in a material world is fear. Right? It's fear. Fear is everywhere. Consciousness living in a material world is fear. Fear. We're all fearful. And why is fear? What is the root cause of fear? Attachment. We are attached. That is the reason we are fearful. Right? Same attachment, move it from material world to the lotus feet of an Acharya, there is no fear. We'll go back to Krishna. That's all. We have to have full confidence. Prabhu, I asked this question many times to many, actually. You're asking me, but I asked this many times to many. And the beautiful answers I always received is, have faith in the mercy of your spiritual master. That's all. Will I do even one service properly before I die? I don't know. I don't know. Will I do even one activity which will please my spiritual master? I don't know. I don't know. But I know one thing, that is most merciful. He is most merciful. And mercy means to give it to people who are not qualified, not to the people who are qualified. And that is the only hope that mercy will come to us. If we are still in the game, we will win the game. Just be in the game. That's all. I don't. That's not a good answer, Prabhu. Please forgive me. I'm not here to answer. I cannot answer your question. But when I ask this question to myself, that is the only answer I get is Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurudev. Please be merciful to remember this soul you have initiated. Please be merciful to, this. Just stop this one. Please be merciful to remember. Please be merciful to take against all the odds. Against all the odds. Like, how many of you can count till 100? We all can count, right? How many of you can count till 1,000? We all can count. How many of us can count till 1 crore? We all can count. But I can tell you, you cannot count the number of times you have fallen down. You cannot. I don't think it's possible. I don't think there is a number in the universe which can count the number of times this person in front of you has fallen down. And still I have a hope that my spiritual master will pick me up and take me. तुम इसको पागल बोलो, और enthusiastic बोलो, या फिर कुछ भी बोलो. Do the best you can in the given condition. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu told a beautiful thing. Because Prabhuji is coming here from tomorrow, I'm hearing his lectures in the last 1 week. So I'm preparing my consciousness to receive that Prabhuji. It's very nice, that before a devotee comes, you should hear his lectures so that you're prepared. So he told a beautiful thing. I'll end with this. It's Ekadashi and you all have to chant rounds. And he told a beautiful thing. Can everybody else mute? There is a... Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. He told a beautiful thing. Please hear attentively what he told. Everybody. He told a beautiful hope-giving thing. He said, God has created you because he wanted you to be like this. Right? He wanted you to be like this. He gave you this nature. He gave you this body. He gave you this everything. God has created you because he wanted you to be like this. God likes variety. He created you like this. Instead of cursing yourself for what you are, use your body to reach the best outcome out of it by the end of it. Right? By the end of this body, reach the best that you can do in this body. And that is perfection. And no need to compare with anyone. No need to compare with anyone. That main itna kar saka, wo utna kar. His body is different. My body is different. God gave me a body. Right? In this body includes my subtle body also, my gross body also. And I only accumulated all those things in my subtle body. God knows this. Krishna doesn't know before giving this body that this fellow has so many desires, this fellow has so many things. He knows everything, right? Still, he's given this body. Not for us to regret why we got this body, but to use this body to the ultimate, I'm forgetting the exact word Prabhuji used, beautifully told. Do the best out of this body that you can. Best. I mean, the maximum purifying position you can take this body, take it. And do it till the last breath. Till the last breath, keep taking this body to that. Don't cheat. You're not here to cheat. We're not cheating God. We're genuinely putting our effort to reach that best reachable outcome. And if you do that, your life is successful. You don't worry about how Krishna is going to accept what you did or reject what you did, and what will be the end result. But you do your best in the given bodily condition. don't become hopeless. And Chaitanya Charan Prabhu also says, remember that you are the soul, which is part of Krishna, and it is the purest. So don't keep telling, I'm fallen, I'm fallen, I'm fallen. Your soul is not fallen. Your body is fallen. You are pure. You will go back. Provided you connect back to the pure person you are by the mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga. Anybody else, Giraj Prabhu or anybody else who wants to add, Lovesh Prabhu, to the answer? Actually, he knows the answer better. Lalit Mohan Prabhu, you know the answer also. Please tell us, Prabhu. Please enliven. What do you feel? What is the hope?
Hey, Prabhu, no, Prabhu, I'm struggling myself, Prabhu. That's the reason why I'm asking. This tons of prasadam is not working, and the gallons of the Charnamrit which I have heard, as days are passing by, Prabhu, because in the initial days we were very enthusiastic, and now as days are passing by, the energy which we have at those days are not there now. And at the same time, the desires are becoming more and more stronger. Yeah, of course, we have the hope of Bhagavatam, we have the hope of devotees, we have the hope of the process. Yes, Prabhu, all these things are there. But as I'm passing recently, after 35, passing 35, the body starts giving all the, it is not, I didn't have the energy which I used to have earlier. So now things are becoming tough, Prabhu, for me. You all used to say before 10 years what I'm feeling now. But now I can understand what you have gone through that phase, and now
Prabhu, after finishing this class, when I get up, it takes me 10 seconds to make the first 5 steps. I'm 47. Right? I never thought it will be my situation. After I get up now, 10 seconds it will take for the first 5 steps, because the whole blood in my legs has stopped and it will pain. And after 5 steps, slowly the normal walk will start. And what do you think my condition will be after 10 years from now? Right? Body is going to be horrible. This is a horrible, like Prabhupada says, is a bad bargain. It's a bad bargain. But we have to do the best out of the bad bargain. but Prabhu, all said and done, let's not end this class with a sad note. I think I'm very fortunate that I'm in midst of so many wonderful devotees in this call. I'm so fortunate. I'm so. Can everybody on your cameras? Just makes me feel that I'm here. Thank you, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. Thank you. We're all in it together. We will go back together. We will continue this together. Don't worry. Right? We have been given personality. Where is this personality? Yes, he's going to take us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. AC Bhakti. Impossible is being done by him. Impossible is being done by him. Impossible. Acharya can only do impossible things. None of us can. Right? So I'm very happy to see all of you. Thank you. And happy Ekadashi. Yes.
So one point I'd like to say, today is also His Grace Anandrandan Prabhuji's birthday. So today morning in his class, he told, he asked Maharaj the exact same question, that I have so many conditioning, I am so helpless. What should I do, Maharaj? It's not going away. Despite of he has been practicing since 35 years, he told. And despite that, he still feels that he has not purified himself and still struggling. So then Maharaj told, serving devotees, and by serving you get the mercy of devotees, and that is the only hope you have. So keep doing it.
Yeah. And tell me how many have heard this question from Anandandan Prabhu again and again and again. I heard it at least 50 times.
Yes, correct.
Right? His guru, his Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj has heard this like 50 times. But still, Prabhu, Guru doesn't get annoyed, or Guru doesn't get upset to hear this question. Because this is the most valid, important question to ask by any living entity. This is the question. What is my hope? How can I go back? and Anandandan Prabhu's birthday today, let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra for his good health. And because if he's in good health, he'll make so many more devotees chant the holy name purely, and he will inspire so many other grihasthas. So please fold your hands or lift your hands, whatever you do,
Yes.
something with those hands, and let us chant 3
Prabhuji,
times. Hare
one more.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Grace Anandandan Prabhu ki jai.
Prabhuji, in Yatra, he just fell down while coming to Maharaj's class, and then he got injury, struggling even for going to bathroom and even basic chores. He's struggling with right now. That is his situation. He explained today, and he told how miserable I am, and I beg forgiveness from all of you. So we really pray that he recovers very soon and comes out to help all of us. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, and today is also the birthday of Malinga Mayor Prabhu. Once again, for some of you who joined late, so it's a global event of celebration. Malinga Mayor Prabhu is with us, and the whole world is chanting for his spiritual progress. And I pray that Prabhuji always remains in this association, gives his association, and remembers us when he's going back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My only hope is this satsang. That's all I have. And today is my Shiksha Guru Sakshi Achyut Prabhuji's birthday also. So I pray for him also.
See, look at this.
And whatever you told, it's his mercy.
And Sakshi Achyut Prabhu is a very tolerant devotee. He tolerated our Bhakti Shastri group. If you all remember. So let us pray for him also. Let us pray for him also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantha ki jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande. Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Hari Bo.
Thank you very much. Dandavata Pranam.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavata Pranam.